This is Susan Wilbanks with BlendedInsight.com. I am a holistic and integrative healing arts practitioner, an intuitive, and an energy healer. In this podcast, I share tips, tools, and suggestions that have helped me along my path in hopes of inspiring and helping you along yours. Let's get started with today's podcast topic. Hello, bright soul. Thank you so much for joining me on another podcast. It's our weekly time together, my time with my favorite people, and I appreciate you. Thank you for showing up. And it's a beautiful day here with the perfect weather in Colorado. So I'm smiling, I'm bright, I'm happy, I'm grateful. My cat is so happy. She likes to go outside and nature bathe, be in the sun. She eats the grass. She plays with the squirrels. Okay, she's trying to get the squirrels, but they're smarter and faster than her. She's very domesticated. She hasn't been around other animals really at all, because she was a little trauma rescue kitty. She was abandoned, so she didn't really know how to be like other kitties. She was found on a grocery truck. I got her when she was 5 weeks old, all by herself. And so we've had her ever since. And she had a little bit of PTSD going on. So who knows where she came from, what happened. So in any case, we tried to get another animal at one time, and she wasn't having it. And, she's 10 now, so she's set in her ways. She's getting a little bit of gray hair. She's so adorable. I love her so much. And she loves the spring and summertime because she gets to go outside, and she's adorable. And we have a door that she can go in and out. And she's very smart, and she's very aware. So if we come to the door, she knows it's time to come in. So she doesn't roam. She doesn't go outside the yard, which is great. You didn't need to know all that, but I'm painting the picture of what a wonderful time it is here in Colorado. Much different than if you listened to me in the wintertime when I was bah humbug. In any case, I'm going to go into the topic for today, and that is being where you are when it is difficult. And in the military, we call this embracing the suck, because it sucks and there's nothing you can do about it, and resisting it only makes it worse. And we all have things in our life that we have to bear up under and get through. Unpleasant things are part of life. They're also a necessary part of life. And the more you resist, and the more you complain, and the more you try to do everything you can to get out of it, the worse it gets. And you're expending all this energy to try to get out of something that you just need to sit in for a minute. Now, I'm not saying it's always the case, but there are certain times when you just have to embrace the suck. I will give an example. So there's someone in a work situation that is very insistent upon us traveling because she thinks it would, air quote, be so fun. And nobody thinks it will be, air quote, so fun except for her. There's not a single person that wants to go. There's not a single person that thinks it's a good idea. And everyone has a rotten attitude about it because no one wants to do it, including yours truly. I don't want to do it either. I don't see the value in it. It's very disruptive for me personally, for my home life, for my family, and it's not in a location I want to go. There's nothing about it that I want to do. However, this person is in a position of authority or leadership, and this person has it stuck in their mind that this is a thing that we all need to do, even though we've pointed out how frivolous spending it is, how there really isn't any good point. What are we even going to do? There's no agenda. There's no structure. We've all pointed it out. But this person wants us to do it. And so guess what? We must embrace the suck. And knowing that it is not going to change. This is the way it is. And the more we complain about it and drag our feet and resist it, the more worn out we get. Have you ever seen someone try to hold a beach ball underwater? It requires so much effort. So much effort. And you really can't hold it under there. When you let go, it's like, okay. So now how can I regroup and make this the most pleasant experience possible, even when it sucks? Let me just get through it and figure out what's next. How can I shift my attitude? How can I make it as least damaging as possible, or not even damaging, but how can I just have the best attitude so that I'm not dragging and making it a lot worse? Because we hear in the law of attraction world, what you resist persists. And the reason why people say that is because of the emotion that is generated. That emotion is a vibration. So our thoughts create emotions, and then the emotion sends out a vibrational signal. And so that signal, especially if it's really powerful and you're stewing on it and you're ramped up, it attracts like energies. It collects those energies along the way. So you're in that vibrational alignment, and then you align with it and you have more experiences that align with that emotion. So this is why consciousness and awareness is so important, because if you can become mindful of the signal you're sending out, you can become mindful of what you shift and focus on. And we all have these things in our lives. We all have it because, oh my gosh, like I was super revved up about this for a little while because I don't like wasting time. And, I understand I have a lot of people, let me back up. A lot of people just like to socialize and gossip and get into your personal business because they think it's fun. I'm very private, so that's not fun for me. And I live a different lifestyle than most people. And so what they consider fun is not fun for me. So when they talk about, oh, let's go to happy hour, and I'm not going to happy hour. Not only would I not enjoy the environment, I don't drink. I don't want to be around people that drink. That's not fun for me. That's exhausting for me. So nope, I'm out on that. And then when they talk about, eating crappy food and, and us being in an environment where we don't have access to our own food and they want to like cater the food and it's junk, trash food. Okay, I don't eat like that. So that's not going to work for me. And and then it's, oh, well, we're not going to give you a car because we don't have the budget. So you're going to be stuck at this hotel, which doesn't have a gym. Okay, that's also not going to work. I know you don't work out, but I do. I know you don't take care of your body, but I do. I know you don't meditate, but I do. And so our lifestyles are not the same. Not that yours is wrong and not that mine is wrong, but they're not the same. So what you consider fun is not fun for me. And I don't want to sit down and do happy hour and gossip and for you to get in my personal business when I don't have a personal relationship with you. And that's just the way that I'm wired. And it's not from a place of being ugly, because I absolutely can go along and be polite and friendly, because I can get along with anyone. I really can. But it's not enjoyable for me. I leave drained with a capital D, drained, because it's when you're interacting with people at a lower vibration, not from an ugly place, like a different vibration from where you live. Because, when you're doing this kind of work, your aura gets bigger and you're cleaner. You don't have those things weighing you down. You're eating clean food. You don't put drugs or alcohol in your body. You're doing a meditation practice, so you're connected. When you're doing all these things, you don't have the chaos. You're not interested in gossiping about other people's lives or getting in their business unless you're authentically connecting. But that's not what I'm talking about. This is something different. It's just small talk. A lot of people like to interact with others so that they don't have to focus on their own inner work. So if I'm worried about what's going on in your life, I'll get so, caught up in what you're going on and comparing and gossiping, then I'm not doing my own work. And a lot of people do that. I did that a long time ago. And I did it, years ago before I was on this path. So I'm not judging that. I've been there, but I'm not there anymore. That's the thing. And so that when you have to lower your vibration to interact with that, and then your vibration triggers people just by being who you are, because they get a healing crisis from being in your presence. It's one thing when it happens over the phone, but then when you're in person, good Lord, and you leave, if your vibration's at a 10 and you have to dumb it down to a 4 just to be in the presence of people, you can only hold it for so long. Where theirs is starting to get raised by being around you, even though you've tried to pull yourself down to a 4, there's a 5, probably a level they've never been to is getting squeezed out. It just doesn't work. And I know, because I've been in this space of doing this for, I don't know, a good 12 years, maybe even 15 years. And I know from experience. And so I said all that to say, I can't do anything about it. So it's like, well, hey, if you want to do this, let's do it. I don't think it's going to be very fun for you or for me, but I'm going to be doing my healing work. So I'm going to be fine. And I got to trust that there's a divine purpose and plan for everything. And what else are you going to do? And this goes for everything. This is another thing I wanted to talk about. So I was also having a conversation with someone who is in a dead-end relationship. Their relationship just continues to get worse. Have you ever had that happen? I know I have, where you're in a relationship past the time when it's over, But you keep thinking, maybe they'll change. Maybe they'll change, and they're not changing, and you're getting dragged, and you're coming up with all the excuses, and well, I'll do this when, or maybe if this, and I have a friend doing that, and I've done it. I have done it. In astrology, they call my chart the try hard chart, because I'll exhaust every avenue. I have to know it's done, so I'm going to exhaust every possible avenue to fix it. And it's usually in those situations in the past, I used to pick people who I'm doing the work and they're not wanting to do the work. So I'm continuing to grow and get better, and they're just staying stuck. And the better I get, the madder they get. Simply because the way it is with me is that it will continue. It has to get unbearably bad for me to leave. In the past, I'm not like that anymore. So I have a friend in that situation right now. And I'm like, here's the thing. How bad does it have to get before we leave? And her thing was, well, I'm just going through so much right now. I'm going through college. I just don't know I don't know. I know it's going to suck when I leave, and I don't know if I'm ready for that. And my thing is, how bad does it have to get? It's going to suck either way. And how miserable must you get before you realize it sucks now and it's going to suck when you leave, but when you leave, it won't suck for that much longer because you've got an end in sight. But as long as you're there, because this has been going on for months, like 6-7 months, and it just continues to get worse. I mean, just when you think it couldn't get any worse, guess what? It gets worse. So it's like the universe will do that to make us move. It'll happen because we're not listening. So at first it's the whispers, and then it's, a little bit louder, and then it's the screams, and then it's the hammer. It's just like, and only you know when that is, and you don't need anyone else to tell you. Sometimes people will book readings just for confirmation of what they already know. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We've all been there. But the other side of that is when you're in it and you've made a hard decision and you're in a crappy time, what can you do when there's nothing else you can do? Because this isn't things where you're needing to be prompted to make a change. When there's nothing else you can do, resisting doesn't make it any better. So that's when all of the practices that we continually talk about every week are very important. Breath work, energy healing, making the best of it, make a plan. Like for this trip, I've had to make a plan. I think I'm going to rent my own car, just embrace the cost to spend it so that I can have freedom to go get healthy food for the week, because I don't want to eat the stuff they're eating. And so that I can go to my gym and stay active. I'm going to figure it out. If I have to go, I'm going to figure it out. And so that's all I really wanted to say. Sometimes the resistance doesn't help. Unpleasant things are necessary. So when you are in a tough time, here's the other thing I want to mention is a lot of times when we're going through a tough time, we're doing everything to not be in the tough time. So sometimes I'll connect with people and they'll say, yeah, I'm in this difficult situation, and they're going over and above to try to resist the situation, to do everything to get out of the situation. And if you've done things and you can't get out of it, it's something you've got to go through. So continuing to try to get out of it isn't helping. There's something in there for you to learn. And it sucks. None of us want to do it. That's why we talk about embrace the suck. Because sometimes you do. And you know when that is for you. You know when that is. When you've tried everything and it's not moving. When you just keep trying and trying and trying and trying and it won't budge. This is the time to stop for a minute. It's time for a stop, go within, be still, and embrace the now moment, because the resistance isn't working. And so I hope this makes sense to you. And let's go into a healing. And you can uncross your arms and legs. I will turn the healing on. Okay, you can come back into your body. Friends, if you haven't left me a review on iTunes, I would so appreciate it. And you make my day brighter. I so appreciate all your donations, your kind words, your beautiful feedback. You are the best, and I'm so, so grateful for you. And I want to wish you a beautiful week. Take care. Bye-bye.